Okay, so the other day I'm talking to a prospect who's considering bringing me on for some sales training, and they told me that they're strongly considering not hiring any external trainers and just doing the training in-house. So how do you have a conversation around that without making the other person defensive? What you don't want to do is give people a mini TED Talk on why they should hire you. Because if you do that, what you're secretly saying is, I'm right and you're wrong. People don't like that very much. People don't want to be preached to. What you do want to do is shine a light on a potential gap in their knowledge that could prevent them from achieving what they want to achieve. Here's what that might sound like. Prospect says, we are strongly considering doing this in-house. It sounds like you want to retain control over the design of your training. It seems like you have the expertise in-house. You know your product better than any external trainer could possibly know your product. It's far less money to do it in-house than to hire some expensive external trainer. Chris Voss calls this labeling, and what you're doing is you're taking an educated guess about what the prospect is probably thinking. If you're wrong, prospects will correct you. And if you're right, prospects will say that's right. And the superpower here is that you're making the other person feel heard. Once people feel heard, they're more likely to hear you. From there, you can shine a light on a potential gap in their knowledge. Here's what that might sound like. In working with hundreds of sales teams over the course of 15 years, I often see that sales training doesn't stick for 3 reasons. Reason number 1 is that managers tend to throw a lot of information at reps. They have these 100 PowerPoint slides. It's like reps are drinking through a fire hose. Your working memory exceeds its capacity. This is called cognitive overload. 2, there aren't any learning aids that reinforce the learning just in time when reps need it. By way of example, 1-page cold call flowcharts that sit right next to the screen so reps can reference them when they're making cold calls. And 3, there's no tools for repetition and practice. In order to get good at something, you have to be taught what good is and practice it daily. By way of example, sales objection flashcards that reps can practice for 15 minutes a day. How are you going to ensure that your managers develop training that is pedagogically sound? And then shut the front door and listen. What you typically hear when you create a knowledge gap is the prospect scratching their head thinking, I'm not sure, and now you've created an opening where you can tell them about your perspective. Selling is a transfer of confidence, so you have to have a point of view, a perspective on the terrible, no good, very bad thing that might happen if your prospects do it in-house or use their existing tools.